Adrian Buchan and Matt Wilkinson are just 2 weeks away from starting their 2014 World Tour campaigns. For Wilkinson, his conscious effort to improve his preparations will continue as he looks to leave behind recent competitive failures.
Move on, don't hang on to it, just brush it off.
For Buchan, the rehab on his injury has entered a critical period. Immediate progress will be necessary if he's to be fully fit to compete at the highest level.
Maybe I'm not going to be 100%, but I mean, what athlete is at 100% all the time?
As the surfers look forward to the imminent start of a new competitive year, this is their story.
Boys on the run, boys on the run to Byron Bay, moving to Byron Bay.
In Bondi Beach, an unexpected obstacle has cropped up for Matt Wilkinson and his two housemates, Nick and Rob. With the Quicksilver Pro Gold Coast just 2 weeks away, the timing is far from ideal.
I guess our leases run out and we didn't notice. We've got a day to get out. I think we might have missed a pretty important letter in the mail that said that we had 6 weeks to get out, and now we've got 1 day. So I don't really stress much about this kind of stuff, so I think we're just going to pack all our stuff up today, and then now we've decided to move to Byron and try something new. We're pretty interested in this place. It's like right near the beach, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure the dog would be thrilled to live there rather than here.
We don't have to shoot on the balcony all the time. We'll actually have a backyard.
With not much time and a lot of moving to do before they leave, it appears Wilkinson has found a solution to speed up the process.
We should throw the microwave off onto the grass. Yeah, throw it off. Should we throw the Barbie off? Ready, set, go. Sweet. That was easier than carrying it. It didn't even break. Whee! Should we throw this off the balcony? I got a feeling this one's going to explode. Ready? Breaking shit is awesome.
Wilkinson's father, Neil, has arrived to lend a hand. Conveniently for his son, Neil runs his own removals business.
Hey, Mac. How are you? How's it going? Yeah, good. And we got a letter that, or a text that was like, you're out. And we're like, oh, shit, that happened quicker than we expected.
Did you fuck up?
No.
So nobody's complained about how loud and obnoxious Robbo is?
No.
Or Nick? I don't think he's ever organised anything in his life. He doesn't generally know what he's doing tomorrow until tomorrow happens.
Go slower. My legs are fucking buckling. Oh.
As the crew leave their flat for the last time, they receive some promising news.
We got a phone call before from a house up at Byron that we want to get, so hopefully that, well, he said that they're not sure if dogs are allowed, so you better not blow this for us, dog. All right, thanks for that, Dad.
Right now, that's fine.
I'll see you soon.
I never even got to go to the coffee shop.
Bastards.
I know.
All right, see you later.
Back home in AVOCA Beach, Adrian Buchan's on his way to a physio appointment to continue rehabilitation on his injured foot. With the first event of the season looming ever closer, it is a crucial period in the rehab process.
It's pretty difficult, you know, like injuries for an athlete, you can't work. It is part of the territory, you've got to be able to deal with it because 99% of every athlete deals with some kind of serious setback during the course of their career.
Buchan's been working closely with Andrew NEALON, who was previously a physio at the prestigious English soccer team, Liverpool.
Last time I saw you, you're up to, in your words, 75% comfortably.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Today, not too bad. Like, I think it's just that next kind of 15–20%, being confident to push through that part of my foot and, you know, have kind of trust the ligament that it's going to do its job.
That'll go away. It's just a matter of how long it takes.
Yeah.
We can do all the exercises we like, but nothing simulates what you're going to need it to do on a board. I
mean, look, I kind of think, like you said the other day, I probably couldn't be any further along than where I'm at.
Not without risk that's not worth taking.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're on the board at 8 weeks. We said at the start, if you're on the board end of January, that's about as good as we could hope for.
Yeah.
The session is encouraging, and Buchan's progress has come a long way from the initial fears about his injury.
The doctor said, gee, I don't actually know if you're going to be able to surf at the level you want to surf. That was pretty scary to think that what you love and, you know, are so committed and so passionate about can be torn away from you just like that.
Well, Adrian's injury, it was a pretty unusual one. And when Adrian first arrived to our first events early March, I probably thought realistically we were going to be tight for time. But most elite athletes are used to functioning at 100% without their body feeling 100%.
When I had the operation, I just switched off, you know, and I think I really needed that, just to not think about surfing. And it's the longest I've spent at home since I was in school. But the last month I've really started pining to be back in the water, and it was perfect because it really kind of lit the fire again.
With his foot in good enough condition to surf again, Buchan must now try and get in the water for some valuable practice time if he's to compete at an elite level.
I feel like every time I surf, I'm improving 5%, and that's exciting. Like, nothing's stale, like everything's fresh. To have that feeling inside again of excitement for all those little things is just really refreshing and really invigorating. Sometimes things like this can actually bring the best out of you. Obviously, I need to make some ground up before snapper, but I think all those little feelings are going to really help me.
Matt Wilkinson's in Newcastle, Australia, to compete in another WQS event in preparation for the start of his 2014 World Tour campaign. But he loses out in a close heat in the final minute.
It's just frustrating. I lose exactly the same in every contest. I guess this week, instead of surfing here with 300 QS guys, I'm going to go and find some waves somewhere.
With a desire to shake off today's loss, Wilkinson calls close friend and fellow tour competitor Adrian Buchan.
What are you up to? Did you surf a heat?
Yeah, I just lost like a peasant.
Oh, shit. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, pretty spewing. But I was just thinking, are you going to surf again today?
Yeah, I haven't had a surf yet. I'm going to probably have a surf. Going to cruise over to Copa, I was thinking.
Alrighty. Should we head down? Should I come down and go surf with you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty.
With a plan in place, Wilkinson's heading to Copacabana Beach, the town where it all began for the 25-year-old, the place where he grew up.
Every morning I'd come out and surf out here and then run in, get changed, not even have time to have a shower, and get from, I think school started at 9:05, and I'd just make sure I was here by 9 o'clock and then get to school sandy and salty and drip salt water out of my nose all over my school books.
Matt, as a young kid, always had this desire to do well at whatever he did, and it was something that was just within him. You didn't have to push him to do anything because he just wanted to do it better than anybody else.
Neil Wilkinson would raise his 5 children as a single-parent father, and at a young age gave his kids a taste for life on the road.
We had some fantastic times just driving up and down the coast with basically no money. Like, I'd just earn enough money to pay for fuel, and we'd sleep in the van, you know, we'd sleep on the side of the road and anywhere, and if the surf was good, we'd stop there, you know.
The family would eventually settle in Copacabana Beach, where Neil managed to secure accommodation for his family at the local surf club.
It got broken into a few times, so the surf club wanted a caretaker, and Dad was like, well, I guess I can live there if you just let me live there for free and I'll take care of it. and he's a pretty scary looking guy, so I don't think, well, no one broke in while we were in there. Never really had like a home that I really miss like everything about home or anything like that, and I think on tour that's a pretty good trait to have.
The hours spent honing his skills on the Central Coast would eventually lead to Wilkinson qualifying for the Elite World Tour in 2010. It's here where he found himself competing alongside another influential surfer from the local area.
Ace has always been my role model. We've always been good friends. He used to help me out when I was a little grom, and definitely the guy that helps me the most on tour.
Byron, eh? It's exciting.
Yeah.
Now that you do
house.
Pilates and yoga, you can fit right in there.
How does your foot feel?
Nah, it's good. It's just so good to be surfing again. Like it doesn't matter if it's horrible, I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how I'm going to feel when I move to Byron.
yeah, well, at least you're going to have waves on the doorstep every day, and you're not going to be surfing with 100 surf schools and backpackers. And
Yeah. Should we do it?
I think we should.
All right.
I've watched Wilko grow up since he was a young little grommet. You know, it was super exciting for me when he qualified because I felt like my little brother had made it on tour.
Ace is pretty much the ultimate professional. I kind of strive to be as disciplined as he is. I guess that's the stuff that I kind of lack, but I think that might be why we get along so good.
We are really different characters, but we get on so well. He's given me a lot and I've kind of given him a bit. Like, we can probably both take a little bit from each other's acts.
Also out in the water today is Adrian's dad, Ian. Despite also raising his children on the Central Coast, their upbringing would be a stark contrast to that of Wilkinson's.
I'm a school teacher, so, you know, I felt that he had to have a good education. A future in surfing's never guaranteed, so I insisted that he stick to the books.
Ian and his wife arrived in Australia in the 70s following a troublesome period in their native home of South Africa.
My mum and dad grew up in apartheid South Africa, and they really didn't like what was going on there, and it was kind of dangerous to be so outspoken.
You know, the future was not looking good in the 70s at all. So we came here really to have our children and to give them a good future.
This courageous spirit would be passed down to their son, Adrian, who utilized these values as he qualified for the World Tour in 2006. Now entering his 9th year, he faces one of the biggest challenges of his career ahead of the opening event of the season.
3 months ago, when I was lying on the couch with a big swollen foot, I didn't think I'd be here, but couldn't be happier with where I'm at, and still got 2 weeks and just taking it day by day.
It's less than 2 weeks to the first event on the 2014 calendar, the Quicksilver Pro Gold Coast, and the surfers sense the challenge ahead. For Buchan, his urge to pull on the contest vest increases with every day that passes, but he must navigate the tricky road to full recovery so that when the time comes, his foot will let him perform at maximum limit.
I feel good after, last few sessions, and the physio is pretty happy with where I'm at.
For Wilkinson, he seems unfazed by house moves and defeat at warm-up contests. Will his focus narrow as he takes up temporary headquarters overlooking the famous break of Snapper Rocks, the site of the contest ahead?
It's definitely a bit daunting going into the first event, but as soon as the hooter goes, your mind just switches onto competitive mode.
As the clock ticks down to the start of the World Tour, questions remain. But any doubts will soon be cast aside when the surfers paddle out for their first heats, when they must let their natural talent and competitive instinct take over. How they will handle the pressures of the upcoming season, only time will tell.